in beautiful Honolulu, a seaside paradise that Shell tells me is home to the prettiest pearls in all the world.
Pearls!
Bright blue waves, pure white sands, and fabulous jewels just lying on the beach. Truly, darlings, this is the promised land. Although it does seem a little less promising than I expected. Where is everybody?
Something's not right here. Still, it's not our problem. Let's just find this Kai guy and get out of here.
Look, look! Auntie's here! The show's about to begin!
Are you all paying attention? Good. Then I'll tell you the tale of the terrible curse that befell our village long ago. The curse of a crafty creature with a face as pretty as a pearl, but a heart as black as coal. Now, let's begin. Once upon a time, a master fisherman lived in Honolulu. He caught more fish and gathered more pearls than any of the other men in the village. The mayor of Honolulu, the big kahuna, was very fond of this fisherman and offered him the hand of his beloved daughter. The fisherman and the kahuna's daughter agreed to be married, and the future of the village looked bright. Until the day of the storm. The fisherman was caught up in a terrible tempest, and he and his catch were thrown into the ocean. As he sank through the water, he saw the pearls he had gathered shining like stars all around him. The light faded, and he prepared to meet his maker. But instead, he met her, a mermaid more beautiful than any creature he had seen before. She held him in her arms and whispered in his ear, "I will give you your life if you give me your soul." Many days passed and the fisherman did not return. The people of the village thought him dead and held a funeral for him on the beach. But just as they were beginning to sing his soul into the next world, he appeared, exhausted but alive. The kahuna's daughter was overjoyed to have her beloved home and stayed by his bedside night and day, nursing him back to health. But the fisherman was no longer the man she knew. All day he would stare out to sea, muttering over and over, "I must marry that mermaid." Then one day, he threw his fiancée aside and ran to the harbor screaming, "I must go back to her!" The kahuna was furious. He banished the fisherman from the village and burned his boat so he could never set sail again. And so, the man who was once the pride of Honolulu spent the rest of his days alone on Saikiki Beach, haunted by the mermaid who stole his soul. That's all for today, children. I'll tell you the rest of the story tomorrow.
Mermaids are scary! Whoa! The mermaid's coming to steal our souls! Run!
Aloha, friends. Is there anything I can do for you?
Maybe. We're looking for a fisherman called Kai. Do you know where we can find him?
Oh my! What a coincidence! You must be looking for my son, Kainui. Are you friends of his? I'm afraid he's not here at the moment. All the men have sailed west to fight the giant squid that's been attacking our ships. If you want to hurry things along, maybe you could go lend a hand. Once that monster's dealt with, they'll all come back to the village, sure enough. But be wary, friends. That squid isn't the only danger out on the seas. Don't let a crafty mermaid make you all pupule. I'd hate to see you go crazy.
These must be the gallant squid hunters. I wonder which ones are blushing husband-to-be. Yoo-hoo! Over here! Excuse me, which one of you big brave boys is Kai? They look like they're saying something, but I can't quite make it out. A good view? I love you?
Watch out! Above you! Watch out! Look! Above you!
Above you?
Look out! Up there! Oh, you have got to be kidding!
So, we meet again, Senor Squid. I picked up a little present for you in Honolulu. Everyone, cover your ears! Say hello to my enormous friend! Now's our chance, my loves. Let's turn this tentacled travesty into fish food! Thank you, thank you! Darlings, it was nothing, really!
Mahalo, mahalo. Whoever you people are, I can't thank you enough. But I can sure feed you enough. Tonight we're gonna have a luau to remember, and you're gonna be the guests of honor. Get ready to drink, dance, and fill your belly with fish till you fall down. Come one, come all to Honolulu.
And where do you think you're going? You're off to look for Kai, aren't you? Well, I'm coming with you. Oh, hello, Veronica. What are you doing out here?
Those stupid fishermen said the party was only for grown-ups, so they couldn't let me in. Is every bar in the world full of stubborn idiots or something? Anyway, you're going to look for Kai, aren't you? I've got nothing better to do, so I might as well join you.
Sorry, but I'm not the man from your story. You must have me mixed up with somebody else.
Don't give us that nonsense. We know you're the only Kai in Honolulu. If you never meant to marry that poor mermaid, you should never have proposed to her.
Hey, go easy on the accusations, will you? People here got no love for mermaids. If they think I do, I'll be in trouble. The Kai you're looking for is my grandfather, Kainoa. I take it you've heard the tale of the mermaid's curse?
Yes, your mother told us all about it. But I can't see what an old fairy tale has to do with anything. You can't keep Michelle waiting any longer.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's not a fairy tale, it's true. The fisherman from the story, that was my tutu, my grandpa. It all happened 50 years ago, and it happened just like my ma tells it. But the story didn't end there. 10 years after Grandpa got chased out of the village, the kahuna's daughter, Leilani, she married another man, and they had a kid together. After the baby came, the people started to forget about Kainoa and the curse the mermaid put on him, till one day. Another great storm struck, even more violent than the one that sent my grandfather to the bottom of the sea. The kahuna's boat went down, and him and his daughter's new husband went with it. The men who survived went to break the news to Leilani, but when they got there, her and the baby, they were nowhere to be found. The villagers said it was the mermaid's revenge, that she took all 4 of them because she couldn't have Kainoa. So they lit torches and they marched to Saikiki Beach to confront him. When they threw open the door of his hut, they couldn't believe what they saw. He'd been living all alone for the last 10 years, but there he was with a baby in his arms. And the baby, it was dripping with water. They ran off screaming, talking about how he must have had a kid with the mermaid. And that was the last time anyone from the village went to Saikiki.
Wait, but that baby must have been your mother, which would mean she was half mermaid, which would make you...
Cooley, don't even say it. My mother is a human being. My grandpa found her abandoned on the beach and raised her as his own. He never had a kid with a mermaid. That's just a stupid rumor made up by a bunch of superstitious fishermen. If that mermaid really is still out there somewhere waiting for Grandpa, there's something I want you to give her. Meet me on Saikiki Beach. It's on the other side of the cape. You can get there through the chapel at the back of the village. I'll leave the door unlocked. This veil was my tutu's. Ma said when she found him after he died, he was just lying there holding on to it. Guess there was a reason I never threw it away. If you really know where to find that mermaid, I want you to take it to her and tell her he's dead. Look, I'm sorry if I was kind of short with you back there, but it hasn't been easy for me and my ma. After Grandpa died, they let her go back to the village and marry a local guy, but it didn't stop folks talking. But she rose above it, turned it into that story show of hers, and now that's how she makes her living. She's a smart woman, tough too. I hate that mermaid for what she's put us through, and I don't want my kids to suffer like we have. The Kahuna's finally letting me sail with the other men. The curse is nearly undone. Please, take the veil and let that be an end to it. Why have you brought me here?
That voice! It's music to my ears! I feel like I could cry. Oh, darling, tell me, is it you? My one and only Kai?
Yeah, I'm Kai. Do I know you? What? You're a mermaid.
Oh, silly me. I'm always far too quick to jump for joy. You don't know me, I don't know you. You're not my darling boy.
No, I'm not. The man you loved, he was my grandfather. But he's not here anymore.
My darling Kai, my one true love, the one that I adored. You died alone and friendless on this cold and windswept shore. Oh, how could I forget we mermaids live 500 years? Quick as a flash, a human life just ups and disappears. Without Kai, hours seem to pass too slowly to be true. But now I see cruel time was flowing faster than I knew. Thanks for finding Kai for me. You've been a proper friend. To trace my love across the sea until the bitter end. I said I would reward you, and I mean to pay that debt. You'll find your prize upon the selfsame island where we met. I'm sorry I can't come along and see you on your way, but now I'm here, I can't go back. I think I have to stay. I waited for you so long, through sun and stormy weather. But now it's time, at long last, we're going to be together. You've got your granddad's hands, you know. So soft yet strong and honest. The hands of one who'd never ever make a faithless promise. A mermaid who sets foot on land will perish in the brine. But that's all right. I got to meet my darling one last time. If I had been a human, or if he had been like me, perhaps we could have lived together, happy as can be. But I'm a mermaid. He's a man. There's no point asking why. He was my one true love. But now, it's time to say goodbye.
I can't stop thinking I've seen her somewhere before.
Of course! Grandpa's cabin!
What's this? A letter?
This is Grandpa's handwriting. Dearest beloved, ever since you saved me on the day of the great storm, the dream of one day being reunited with you is all I have lived for. But now I fear that dream is over. Forgive me, my darling, but I cannot keep my promise. Some years after my boat was burned and I was exiled to this beach, the fishing fleet was hit by another great storm, and many people lost their lives. The kahuna and his daughter Leilani's husband were among them. One night, not long afterward, I saw a woman standing on the cliffs. She had a baby in her arms. It was Leilani, the woman who was once to be my wife. With her father and husband gone, she had lost all hope and all reason. I called out to her, but in her grief, she could not hear me. Before my disbelieving eyes, she threw herself into the ocean. I tried to save them. I did everything I could, but only the baby survived.
Kai? You're sure you're fine to row back home? You're not in any pain? I wish you'd let me keep you till you're fighting fit again.
Don't worry about me, Michelle. You fixed me up real good. I'm fitter than ever.
Kai, I know you've got to go. There's things you have to do. Just promise me you'll be back soon. I'll wait right here for you.
It's all my fault. I'm sorry, Michelle. I can't leave. I can't just be thinking of myself anymore. This child needs me. The villagers say you put a curse on me, but it's only because they don't understand. They don't want what happened to me to happen to anybody else. You have to forgive them. They don't know you like I do. They don't know you at all, and what they don't know, they fear. I sometimes wonder if you're still sitting there, on that rock, still waiting for me to return. But it's too late for me now. I'll never make it back there. I'll understand if you can never forgive me, but I want you to know one thing. I love you. I always will. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have been so hard on you. Without you, I'd never have known all of this. Never met Michelle. All this time, I hated that mermaid for what she did to my grandfather. But now I see how he really felt. He wasn't cursed. He really loved her.
Griffins, this place is a veritable paradise under the sea. Just when you think you've seen it all, you find yourself in Mermaid Town.
So we can breathe underwater now? That harp is something else. Well, now we're here, I guess we can find out if that story about the giant pearl is just an old wives' tale or not.
Finding the orb is important, but we need to talk to the Queen first. We have to tell her about Michelle.
I welcome you to Nautica, the land beneath the waves. What brings you, Prince of Dundrasil, down to these coral caves?
Huh? How do you know he's the Prince of Dundrasil?
I have a second sight that touches every quarter, by which I keep abreast of all the news above the water. Of doomed love between men and mermaids, let us later speak. First, allow me to present the item that you seek. Behold the shining sphere of green, the orb you humans need. The treasures of the world above are marvelous indeed. Consider this my thanks for what you did for dear Michelle. Pray take it kindly, travelers, and may it serve you well. I witnessed the whole sorry tale. It always breaks my heart. The tragedy of man and mermaid doomed to live apart. But while the mermaid's burden holds, such romances are blighted, and love between man and sea maiden fizzles unrequited. For years now I have sought a way to remedy this curse. Alas, my every effort ends in failure or worse. You humans cannot help but seem a fragile kind to we. who live 500 years and more down here beneath the sea. But though the flame of human life burns short, it burns so bright. You never cease to struggle. No, you push, you strive, you fight. And so your kind admire our kind, but we admire in turn. It is the world tree's will that from each other we should learn. It was the world tree's will that brought Michelle and Kai together. I pray that in their next lives they may stay that way forever. So too was it the world tree's will that brought you here today. But now, dear luminary, you must be upon your way. So set sail on the tide of time that flows ceaselessly on. And if Yggdrasil wills it, we shall meet again anon. Remember, though the paths we walk are filled with twists and turns, all roads lead from the tree of life, and to the tree return.
Allez, hop! Très bien. A splendid rendition, girls. Now, to your lesson. May you have a maximally fruitful day on your journey to become miniature ladies par excellence.
All together now. Merci, Monsieur Médaille. Merci, Monsieur Médaille.
Merci, mesdemoiselles. What have we here? It is not so often that we receive les visiteurs. It is a minimally common occurrence, in fact. Incroyable! I do not believe it! Young man, it must have been fate that brought you here! Destiny! La Providence! I sense a great power within you. A power of maximal significance. There is much to discuss, but not out here, eh? Come to my office, and I will reveal all you need to know. It is nearby, a minimal distance. You will see. Ah, there you are. Now, you must allow me to introduce myself properly. I am Maxime Médaille. And this is my humble establishment, l'Académie de notre Maître des Médailles, a school in which miniature ladies bloom into beautiful, full-grown flowers. As part of the education, we encourage our pupils to journey through all the lands of Edrea and to gather the maximum number of mini-medals they can find. As they hunt for medals, they immerse themselves in the cultures of the world and acquire at least a minimum of, how you say, savoir-faire. But every so often, a born medal hunter comes along. I sense this in you. I see the most maximally adroit medal detector of my career before me. However, there is one miniature problem. The Academy is for young girls and young girls alone. Sadly, I cannot offer you a place here. But does this mean I will allow such potentiel maximal to remain untapped? No! By the power vested in me, I hereby enroll you as an honorary member of l'Académie de notre Maître des Médailles.
Out of the way, Trongos. Some of us have got sights to see.
I see this place is still full of friendly visitors.
We passed through a while back on the hunt for clues about Mordigan, you see.
The beatific smile of the mural of the ruins of Now What brings good fortune to all who lay eyes upon it. Well, if they believe that kind of rubbish, I'm guessing you didn't find out much of any use.
Aye, that's right, laddie. Not a sausage. But we're looking for something different now. And with the luminary with us too. I have a feeling it might be worth taking another look at those ruins with fresh eyes.
We'll have to make our way through town and over the top of the mountain to get there. Let's split up and see what we can find out on the way.
Mother! Father!
Doesn't it just break your heart? The poor thing's lost her parents. Oh, don't cry, sweetie. It's all right. We'll help you find them. Now, why don't you tell me your name?
Dora. My name's Dora. I came here with my mother and father, but then they left me behind. They said the mural was going to make them rich, and then they just went. Please help me. I want them back so badly.
Oh, there, little one. We'll find out where they've gone. Don't you worry. I'll take the town, you search the ruins, okay? I knew you wouldn't let me down. Sylve's Detective Agency to the rescue. Let the search begin.
You came for a look at the mural everyone's talking about too, huh? Well, here it is. I guess it is pretty impressive. I still don't believe all that stuff about it being lucky, though.
She's not exactly in the best condition. But yes, you're right. She's beautiful.
What's that around her neck? It looks like some kind of strange key.
Not just any old strange key. Serena, that's the magic key. I'm sure of it.
Was that your stomach, Veronica? You're hungry again? Sheesh.
No, it was not. Maybe if you weren't so clearly distracted by this impressive lady here, you'd realize that didn't sound anything like my tummy rumbling.
Shut up, you little brat.
Oh, I saw where your eyes
stomach's
were
like
going.
the creature
You
rising from the
can't fool
deep.
me.
I've never heard of
My tummy rumbling doesn't sound anything like that.
There she blows, and just like she looked in my dreams too. This little beauty's gonna make old Bazza rich. Hey, there's plenty of room for everybody to look, you know. I know your game, Spiky. Well, you can't keep it all to yourselves, you know. We deserve a chance to get rich too.
Stop trying to hog all the good luck, you selfish so-and-sos.
Yeah, give someone else a chance to be happy, why don't ya?
I think we should probably leave, don't you?
Wow. I was pretty keen to see the mural, but clearly not as keen as some.
What is it? Is there something else worrying you? So you're looking for this kid's parents, huh? Well, we got nothing better to do. Let's see what we can find.
There you are, my trusty sidekick!
Alas, I found no sign of the missing persons in town. Did you have any luck here? It is a puzzling mystery indeed. Ah, but I am forgetting our young client. A detective cannot leave a child in distress. Come, we must find her.
You are visitors here, yes? You come from far, far away? Welcome to Phenomenon. First, I should introduce myself, I think. My name is Moni, and I am Phenomenon's #1 memorabilia merchant. If you want a souvenir of your trip or some tasty local produce, you must come to me. I have the best deals in town.
It's no good. We've searched high and low, but we can't find her anywhere.
The poor little darling has disappeared.
You are searching for someone, yes? Then you are very lucky.
Oh? Do you know how to find people?
Yes. Well, no. Not me, but my wife. She is the boss of the inn in this village. She knows everything about people who are coming and going here. Agree to spend the night between our clean and sumptuous sheets, and I'm certain she will share with you her knowledge. You do not need to worry about the cost. The first night we will offer entirely for free. You are happy with this deal, yes? Good, very good. I will tell my wife that you are coming. She will be expecting you whenever you are ready.
honey, there's nobody here. I thought you said you saw Dora come this way.
If she did, she's disappeared into thin air. Are you sure?
Hey, look up there!
How strange. The mural. It's different from the last time we were here.
Am I going crazy? Or were those people not there yesterday? And doesn't that one look a whole lot like that Baza guy, the grumpy one? The lady at the inn said he didn't come back last night.
I've got a bad feeling about this. We need to get out of here now!
This isn't good.
It won't open.
The mural! What the...
What is this place? It feels like we're dreaming, but we're not. Right?
No, I think we're inside the mural.
That doesn't make any sense.
Is this what happened to little Dora, too? Oh, that poor, poor thing. All right, listen up. We've got a little girl to save. Let's go to work.
Hey, look. It's our pal Baza. Hey. I said hey! What's with all the waving around?
Yes. What are they all doing, I wonder? And what about this mural? It's the same as the one from the ruins. Who exactly is she?
I don't know, but she's a charmer, all right. She's certainly got this lot under her spell.
Does my beauty not captivate you too, child? Perhaps when you were a little older. Why so confused, little ones? I am here, right here.
Wait, look!
The mural!
It's alive!
Let me see now. Red, orange, yellow, green. Yes! All the colors of the rainbow! The 7 of you will be very welcome here. Especially you. There's something different about you. Something particularly vibrant. Now come, little ones. Brighten my world. Let me squeeze the color from you as I did the others. Let me add you to my masterpiece.
What? What are you talking about?
You will soon see. You will soon be immortalized in vivid streaks of color.
No, wait! Everyone, come back!
Okay, you don't need to tell me what a bad idea this is, but we need to find Dora. Come on, let's go grab her and get out of here.
Oh dear. This doesn't feel safe at all.
What the heck is it?
Watch out! It's looking this way!
So this thing has been luring folks in here so can have them for dinner, eh? Lucky old us.
Careful!
We need to run! Right now!
What's this? And why has it been smashed to pieces?
It's a message. It seems to have been written by the person who discovered the mural.
I have found a great fresco in the ruins near Phnomnon. It seems to be several centuries old. It has a strange power. At first I thought it was a power for good. That this was how people had been drawn here. How the town had grown great. But now I see that it is evil. That it lures the greedy with promises of riches so that it might feast on their souls. And those too pure of heart to tempt with greed, it lures through pity. Beware the little lost girl. She will lead you to your doom.
The little lost girl. Dora.
So this whole thing was just some elaborate trap? Well, that's just great.
I think it's time to get out of here, don't you?
Could this be... It is! It's the crack we saw when we first went to look at the mural.
I think she's right, you know. This could be our way out of here.
Only one way to find out. Here goes nothing.
Ay, ay, ay. Well, I've made more graceful entrances.
Is everybody okay?
More or less. Anyway, I'm just glad we got out of there.
We have to let everyone know the truth about the mural. Come on, let's get back to the village.
Well, look who it is. Well, that sounds wonderful.
You should.
Well,
I had heard rumors about the mural. That's why I'm here, to be honest. But can what you just told me really be true?
Yes, it's true. The big painting cured me. All I had to do was look at it. It will do the same for you, I'm sure.
Well, I suppose I'd better go and take a look right away then. Thank you, young lady.
Another satisfied customer, huh, young lady?
Another lamb to the slaughter, more like.
But how? I had you in my clutches. You should be part of my masterpiece by now.
You've lured your last unwitting victim into that painting of yours. You must go back and let them all out this instant. You can't keep all those poor people trapped in there.
Come on, there's no point playing innocent anymore. Just let everyone go, will you?
Let them go? When my great work is so close to completion? Fools! Thanks to the gift of that greatest of beings, I have the power to paint their memories onto the very canvas of time! There is only one way you will convince me to release them. Come to my world! Bring it to life with the bright brushstrokes of battle!
Wait! Before you go, this greatest of beings, who do you mean exactly?
Well, I, for one, don't intend to let her get away with this. Come on, let's get back to that mural.